Is there anything in bodybuilding that you consider cheating?
No, I mean, everyone's looking for that edge. You know, there are steroids involved in the sport, okay, in bodybuilding, obviously. And that's the problem with our sport, and that's why it hasn't got accepted by a lot of society, because they look at the bodybuilding and they say, oh, steroids. But they don't understand what actually goes into the sport, okay? You do what you do to be the best in what you do. You do what you do to win. If you want to call that cheating, fine, but I have the edge. And that's why I'm the best.
Steroids are taken 8 or 9, 10 weeks before a competition. It's not a healthy thing to do, but it's being used.
Did you take them?
I take them. I took them, yeah, up until the competition, 8 or 9 weeks before a competition, and it was something that everybody had to do in order to get an equal chance to, you know, to compete.
What are you seeking when you take steroids?
Well, what the effect it should have is that it makes you gain more weight, and that you get more muscularity, and you get it works a little bit also in your mind, you know, it lifts you up a little bit and you have more energy.
At what point did you start experiencing with steroids and additional drugs?
Before my first competition, because I knew the guys I was competing against were using steroids. So I'm like, this is, you know, this is part of the game, right? And if you're going to compete without steroids, you're going to be at a great disadvantage. Not impossible, maybe, if you're genetically much more gifted than the other guys. Well, actually, my first competition wasn't with the federation. It was a local competition, Mr. Birmingham, and I won that while I was natural. And the guy that placed second and third, I knew them, so I knew they were using steroids, and I was still able to beat them. And I dieted for like a week.
Natural.
Yeah, and it's natural. But when I went to the federation and I knew it was a different standard, then I started about 12 weeks before the competition.
Would you start off? What was the first experience?
It was so little to what people use now, but still it was dramatic because it was the first time I ever touched anything. First thing I ever took was Dynabol.
Okay.
20 milligrams a day of Dynabol. I took that for 6 weeks, and then I switched over to one Primobolan shot a week and a little bit of Anabol, like 15 milligrams or something.
Now, professional bodybuilders never usually talk about steroids. Most of them, even the ones that retire, they stay away from that subject. Now, Rich Brianna talks about it openly. He gave us an interview where he said that he'll never stop using it, and he constantly gives advice about it. Do you think that's damaging generally for his audience?
Yeah, well, I mean, damaging for his audience? No, because he has quadrillion followers, right? So obviously they don't think so. Obviously they want to hear it. So damaging for them? No. Do I think, you know, it's the right thing to do? Me, professionally? No, I don't speak about what I did because I understand that I have the power of people who follow me. So if I was to sit there and tell them exactly what I did, I mean, unfortunately, there's going to be some kids who are going to go run out and try to do it immediately thinking it can.
Is steroids cheating? You know, the question is, what is cheating? If you go in a natural show that you're not supposed to take steroids and you're taking steroids, then you're definitely cheating. But if you go in a show that it's okay to take steroids and you take steroids, that's not cheating, right? I mean, you're not doing anything you're not supposed to do, you know, but are you cheating morally? You know, because bodybuilding is about lifting weights. That's what it's about. It's about pumping iron. It's not about injecting. But over the years, it's actually became more about injecting than lifting weights, you know? So that's the question. I think everyone has their own opinion on whether it's cheating or not cheating. And I didn't have a lot of money in the beginning, and therefore I wasn't able to take a lot of steroids. My thing is that, you know, whatever it takes, you know, if you can do that, and you can get away with it and nobody knows and you end up winning the show, then fuck, that's great. The thing is I can't really say I'm for steroids, but I'm not really against steroids. You know, it's a personal choice. I'm really against young kids taking steroids, you know, teenagers, even in your early 20s. I'm really against that. And once you start taking steroids, your testosterone levels, your testes shut down, and they no longer work. So your body is not producing testosterone anymore. And you know, if you shut down your production at an early age, it's never gonna come back to what it was. You know, when you have low testosterone, you're tired, you're lazy, you don't feel like doing anything, you know, you have no sex drive. There's a lot of negatives, so it's very important for you to have a normal testosterone level. And the problem nowadays is it's almost like young kids join a gym, and when they join the gym, they buy the steroids. It's like in the old days, it was like we join a gym and we go buy protein powder. You know, that's what we do. Yeah, I just joined a gym, so I need protein powder. Now, it's like I just joined a gym, I need steroids. You know, and it's like the day they start the gym is the day they start the steroids.
The most common questions I also get is, you know, did we take steroids? Because now, of course, drugs is such a big issue in sports. And the answer is yes. It was just in the beginning stage because bodybuilders in those days just experimented with it. But it was not illegal. It was like, we talked about it very openly. I mean, anyone that was asked, he says, you take steroids? He says, yeah, I take 3 Dianabol a day. Or someone else would say, I would take this, and that. It was not an illegal thing. Now, after it became a big problem, then our federation said, okay, bodybuilders ought not to take steroids, and there will be testing done, surprise testing done. You could be called at any given time. And within 2 days, you have to do a test, so you can't get rid of the whole thing out of your system or anything like that. So that's what's going on right now, that bodybuilders are tested continuously.